So we are ready to start, and today we will continue discussing how audio and voice are reshaping the media landscape. This morning, we will start by exploring how smaller publishers in smaller countries can produce their own voice assistants, and how the combination of audio clips and algorithms is also reshaping digital business and engagement strategies. Then we will continue with two more sessions on the power of audio as a tool for inclusion and against misinformation, which can really contribute to the media to recover the trust of our audiences. So let's start then. We all know that English is one of the most widely used languages in the world. So it comes as no surprise that the developments around tech and content that have to do with audio and voice has mostly been done and produced in English. This makes it more difficult for smaller countries to be at the forefront and even in the loop of these developments. But our next speaker decided that his native language, Finnish, was not going to be an obstacle. So he's been collecting Finnish speech to speed up the creation of Finnish-speaking AI. This sounds very interesting indeed. And here is Ville Kinnunen to share more on it. Hi, Ville. How are you today?
Hello, nice to be here. It's a nice, chilly, actually first wintry morning here in Finland, or at least in my region this autumn, that the weather is cool and we have snow. I can show you later fresh pictures from my yard that's covered in pure white snow, so it's a luxury because it's lighter. There's more light in the dark season when there's just a little bit snow on the ground, and we come from many countries, and I already got greetings from the rainy Maastricht and sunny Spain, so good to be here. And for the radio memories, I've always been a man of radio and audio, and I think sound is what gives you the best pictures inside of your head. So when we have journalism and news products and current affairs with audio, I think it's one of the best ways to give people the current picture and let their minds do the visual part. But I think we will start now with my presentation, and then perhaps there will be time for some questions, because I thought I'd save the bit last, the bit where you mentioned that sorry, we are collecting Finnish speech, so we will go into that later, and first go through some points that we have experienced in my company with the lack of support from major audio voice commanded platforms. But so my name indeed is Ville Kinnunen, and I have been working with radio for 16 years now. 3 years I spent elsewhere working for the government, but my heart brought me back to audio, and I'm very lucky to be part in this constant and like fluctuating change, where audio still reigns and is doing well. I hope you see my presentation now. I cannot see any of your reactions, but if you could confirm that this is showing to you. So I would like to take a friend here with me. You cannot see her probably right now because I'm sharing my screen, but Alexa, why is my language too small for you?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, me neither. But we are not letting that stop us making good content in like news content and current affairs content, because someday I believe we will have language support. But I think it could be some time away now, because Finnish is only spoken by 5.5 million people around the world. There's about 5 million Finnish speakers in Finland and some hundreds of thousands elsewhere. And the smallest supported language in Alexa is Italian. Alexa, stop. She wakes up whenever I say her name. But Italian is spoken by 68 million speakers. So we still have some way to go there. And I fully understand why the number of supported languages is limited. Google Assistant, on the other hand, it can be used with Finland's second official language, and that is Swedish. We have 3 official languages in Finland, and Swedish is the second biggest, with 13 million speakers around the world. Sweden has probably some 10 million. So we will go into that later, because we can make content in Swedish on Google Assistant. And Siri, Apple's assistant, has been available in Finnish since 2016. But when I ask Siri for news, she responds that news is not available in Finnish iTunes Store. So there you go. We have to think of something else. We will go into the next slide, where I tell you that content creation for these platforms is hindered by the lack of support. But we still want to make Finnish audio news, or audio news in Finnish. We want to make it ready for voice-assisted consumption, because I think the day will come that we can set our daily briefing into Finnish. Right now, if I ask for my daily briefing, if I ask Alexa to deliver it, it gives me the most recent national radio news from my channel. We have a national and regional bits, and the daily briefing now on Alexa is a clip of the latest news on radio. But that is not the best content on Alexa, because my company had a trial for Alexa in 2018, and experience gained from there showed that flash briefings need to be purpose-built, tailor-made. So linear radio, well, it does give you the news, it gives you the content, but you cannot ask the skill for more. You just get the linear news like you would get when listening to radio, and these are 2 different formats. And on that same year, Amazon restricted the creation of new skills, and they now only allow content in those officially supported languages. And I'm not sure what would happen. Maybe it wouldn't pass the initial screening even, and if it was accepted, like we use some kind of backdoor, it would be taken off the service. So with Google Assistant, my company's Swedish service, which is called Svenska Yle in Swedish, they have an action in Google Assistant. You may all know that on Alexa they are skills, and in Google Assistant they are actions. And by that action we can like experiment with different types of content in Swedish language, because it's supported and allowed, and many of us native Finnish speakers speak Swedish because it's an absolutely easy language to learn. So that's a good gateway for my company in developing content for Google Assistant. And if I'm guessing correctly, Alexa will have support for Swedish language earlier than Finnish, sooner, I think. But those are not the only channels, of course. We have this collaboration with commercial radio with YLE, my company. We have this app called radiots.fi, that means radios, and that app can be voice commanded. It's been available for 2 years now. And also Apple CarPlay can be voice commanded, and our content is reachable through there. So it's not a total dead end for Finnish news content, but close to that. Let's go to the next slide, which tells you I am giving you, like, I'm trying to paint a picture where the goal is that we are not that dependent on existing platforms, because we have our own streaming platform or content portal online that is called Yle Areena. That's the place where all of our online audio and video go, and it's very successful. And my company, among all brands, and you can include everything from machinery through kitchen appliances, everything of all Finnish brands. Even this year, I think it's the third or fourth year in succession, Yle, my company, is third most valued of all brands. And among media brands, we are number one. We are the most valued media brand in Finland, and the next media brand in that ranking comes somewhere like place 53, and that is the Donald Duck magazine, the Disney magazine that is published in Finland. So Yle is number 3 and number 1 of the media by far. And our Areena is the most valued and most used streaming service in Finland, and that means we beat HBO, we beat every other competition, and according to our best knowledge right now, Netflix is the most popular everywhere else around the world. And for example, BBC iPlayer in the UK, and DRTV in Denmark, and SVT Play in Sweden, and NRK TV in Norway, they all come in second after Netflix. So I think I see this as a unique situation, that this service that we have built ourselves, it's been around, I'm not sure how many years, but probably the first versions are like 15 years old, but Yle Areena is everywhere, and it's very valued, very popular. So that's it's an immensely important advantage. When I look at, for example, I do regional, my teams work in regional broadcasting, we do regional news, and the more we can produce our content for Yle Areena, and we are starting to think Areena first, not radio first. We are thinking audio first, Areena first, because although we are now already number 1 in Finland, I think the potential there in streaming, is only partially realized now, because I have some kind of a throat bug, because even when we succeed in developing regional content in Areena, we already have it, but when we do better there and gain new audiences, and new equals to young audiences, it will prepare us for the possibility of Alexa and other voice control platforms. But also it is decided in my company that if we want to get the best user experience out of our brand and out of our content, it is best that we mostly keep the control to ourselves and to stick to our own platforms. And right now, with no Finnish language support, I see that, and I'm not sure if this represents the thoughts of my company, but I'm sure it represents my ideas, is that they are an added value someday. Alexa and Google Assistant and Siri, they will bring us added value and generate traffic to our Yle Alexa stop. Generate traffic to Yle Areena, and I think we should keep the options open, and I think we will, because it's not that difficult to make new skills for Alexa and new actions for Google Assistant. But addition to that, everything I said, Yle Areena is, at least right now, more of a streaming platform than a place where you can get smart quickly. And I want you to think of those 3 words, get smart quickly, because if you look at your right thumb or your left thumb right now, put your hands up and look at your thumbs. Those bits of flesh are they are so easily bored that stopping the thumb, it's one of the major challenges of today's broadcasters and content makers and public broadcasters and everybody who makes content, to stop the thumb for at least that fraction of a second and make the thumb tap on your content. And because we humans are short for time, we need to, or at least we think, our mind wants to be in the next place, not in this moment. So to get smart quickly is the goal of our new news content portal that is under development, and the first demos I think will be live in 2 to 3 months. Probably in the beginning of next year we will have some like public rollout for that. We are preparing a portal that suits shorter form content consumption. In Yle Areena there's like TV series, there's it's Yle Areena is good for binge consumption, and it's good for watching several bits in succession, but this new service will be more suitable for getting smart quickly. Remember those words, get smart quickly. And when you want to get smart quickly, content needs to be immersive and high in quality. The guy has come out of the hole in the ice, and he has been immersed in cold water, and he's feeling fantastic. And to feel fantastic while using our services, we need to produce content that are independent pieces, that are in Yle Areena, where from it's republishable in other platforms, and it needs to be immersive and addictive, because we all seem to be wearing headphones now wherever we go. I have 2 daughters, 11 and 14, and they wear headphones all the time. And for headphone consumption, the audio needs to be created into storytelling with the strengths of audio, and it has to have a high quality sound. And what we are experimenting with in my region, and it's only in my region, my 2 towns that I manage, short local news articles and AI condensed, like longer articles that AI reads and condenses. It's a fantastic service. It's Finnish made. I haven't seen anything quite like that. And AI will read them aloud. And the goal is to find out when people prefer audio over text, when the thumb wants to listen rather than read, and whether people find the AI voice, a Finnish-speaking machine voice, if they find it listenable. And we also are experimenting with standalone news audio content that is still in early stages, but it requires a lot of handwork, and it's like resource-consuming process. So it's understandable that working in a relatively regionally small public organization, we need to carefully look out for efficiency. But one more thing, as wise men have said in presentations all over the world. We are, my company is partnering in a massive campaign that is called Donate Your Speech. And that is a project to develop a Finnish language-based AI and also speech recognition that can understand spoken audio and written texts in all Finnish dialects. And for that we are collecting Finnish speech. It's a campaign that is advertised every day in all of our channels, and the goal is to gather a 10,000 hour database of spoken Finnish language. And that's, I think we are somewhere, I think halfway. I can give you later the exact number. I couldn't get it for this morning, but we have lots and lots of speaking voice already. So, and this is not only for like information and entertainment. The goal for that campaign, where also healthcare is taking part, is to create an AI that is understandable and understands all dialects, so we can use it in elderly care, healthcare, social services, you name it. So when you're a small country, a small language, relatively small, why wait for support on larger platforms when it's feasible and possible to create your own platform in your language? So I think there's many of you there from smaller language areas that are interested in this, and just drop me a message and I can connect you with the guys who actually run this. I am only partnering in a regional level here, so this is one of our like biggest own campaigns in creating a Finnish AI. But I think I am reaching the end of my time here, so I will exit this presentation, and lastly I will show you our new strategic motto for all of us, for each of us.
Hi, Ville, how are you?
Hi, Angela. Hi.
How are you? Yes, we have some questions from our audience, and
Yes.
the first one comes from Singapore. Lindsay John asks, what has been Yle's experience when interacting with the tech giants, Amazon, Apple, Google? Have they been open to accommodating content channels?
I would say that the biggest like shortcoming restriction has been that for example, Amazon, they only allow content on the supported languages on Alexa. So before in and before 2018 we were able to experiment with skills on Amazon, but since then they have been, I think, systematically taking off the non-supported content, and there was one skill that had mixed English and Finnish and probably Swedish, and to my recollection it was taken off by Amazon. And I think one problem is that they are not that transparent in sharing the traffic or the analytics there. So it's been kind of restrictive, if that's answering your question at all.
Let's see if he answers in the chat. But so, I mean, we have another question from Shahidul. You have time for it? Yeah. Does Yle take content from media run in languages other than English and Swedish?
We have a Russian-speaking service. I'm not sure if Shahidul, do you mean that do we do versions? Do we like do we have versioning? Do we have like translated articles? We have like we have plenty of journalists, and they of course rely on sources that are in different language, but we very rarely have translated articles or content. Instead, we make our own, and because then we can assure that the journalism behind there is according to our ethic guidelines and stuff we adhere to. Thanks for the question.
So thank you, Ville. Thank you for your time and for your presentation, and hope to see you soon.